Wow, that was a surprise. So on the 31st of Halloween, the Undertale Twitter tweeted out a URL called Deltarune.com. On said site are the English and Japanese versions of the first chapter of Toby Fox's newest project, Deltarune. And I am excited. So, a quick run on what Undertale is. Undertale is an independent video game created by Toby Fox. It's a game about a child who falls into a giant cave and enters a magical land filled with monsters and animal people. Really, that's all I can say about the actual game before spoiling it, and thankfully I don't need to for this video, because I'm not going to be talking about what happens in Deltarune. I'm going to be talking about what Deltarune might be. Undertale originally started its journey as a Kickstarter in 2014, asking for about $5,500 in backer money to fund the game. The Kickstarter came with a trailer, a demo, a summary about what the game is about, and a few stretch goals for the game's development. Alongside are also pledge rewards for the backers, ranging from receiving a digital copy of the game at $10 to having the ability to create your own canonical character for the small price of $1,000. Today, the Kickstarter's pledges sits at around a whopping $51,124, more than quadrupling the amount originally asked, and securing all stretch goals. Stretch goals like a secret boss, an alarm clock app based on the game, concept art being shown, and even a little extra something. Deltarune. Think about it. The most expensive stretch goal alluded towards a comic and something else. That something being what most have theorized as an extra game to go alongside this one. Maybe a sequel, maybe an add-on, maybe something entirely new. With Deltarune definitely taking place somewhere in the storyline of Undertale, it has characters from said game. I think it's safe to assume this will be a continuation of the story, of some sorts. From here on out, there will be major spoilers for Deltarune and Undertale. Skip to here if you don't want to be spoiled, you have been warned. It appears Deltarune takes place in a time where either humans and monsters just recently reintegrated each other into their society, or this takes place in a different time altogether, where humans and monsters never fought each other and still live peacefully. It's possible this game is either a soft reboot, where the characters we interact with in Undertale are in an entirely new story, or something else. Here's a few notes to back that up. Asriel is still alive, and in college. The first child of Toriel and Asgore, Asriel dies before the events of Undertale. His death is a major plot point in why the monsters are all trapped inside the cave. For him to be alive erases most of Undertale's story. Without Asriel's death, the monsters wouldn't have been banished into the underworld, and Asgore wouldn't have gone on a murder spree in trying to kill the human children for their souls in order to open the barrier. The protagonist in Undertale is nowhere to be seen. The first thought is that the protagonist is Chris, the main character of Deltarune. They do look very similar, but it doesn't match. Chris has a personality outside of the players, the protagonist doesn't. He's a blank slate meant for the player to more easily put themselves in his shoes. Besides, Chris is probably Kara. Chris and Kara resemble each other the most. They wear similar outfits and are both probably somewhat evil. But once again, this doesn't make sense. Kara's dead in Undertale. Like, really dead. Like, became a flower and then sometimes got crushed to death dead. All these notes give me the feeling that Deltarune will either be the story about how the monsters got banished into the caves, or it's its own story cut off from Undertale, save from the characters and locations, specifically the Dremere family. After all, Deltarune is the emblem that represents the Dremere family. It's on Toriel's dress, Asriel's dress, Asgore's giant, beefy armor, his armor. It's everywhere in the caves. So many enemies wear it, resemble it hell. Even Asriel's final boss fight has him turning into the Deltarune. Whether Deltarune takes place in the Undertale timeline or an entirely new one, we aren't sure yet. But this game will definitely be okay. Okay. As I was making this video on November 1st, Toby Fox uploaded a tweet longer, as I was halfway done with the video. Woo! Which is a sub-site for tweets that you don't want to break up into bits. That pretty much confirms this game is cut off from Undertale. Get excited, we may have one of Toby Fox's biggest projects yet, even bigger than Undertale. And we all know how exciting that was.